What's up, WoW Talkers, and welcome to my first discussion video in my first series called WoW Before Now. If this is the first video which you're watching, I suggest you check out the introduction video where I explain what this channel is all about and what content you may expect in the future. Now let us not waste time and get to the topic, shall we? I'm going to be talking to you guys today about leveling in World of Warcraft. I'll be pointing out several issues that we sadly have in WoW today. I shall be proposing solutions and looking at both sides of the argument. As many of you have experienced in Vanilla, Burning Crusade, or Wrath, you started off as this adventurer who's in a savage world, literally a world of Warcraft. It felt like a merciless and mysterious world that could kill you in any second. You were out there to go on an adventure and to fight in order to become stronger and in order to survive. You always look forward to seeing what's next, and you had to do it the hard way. Now, what do I mean when I say you had to do it the hard way? Well, every move you made used to count in Vanilla WoW. Every time you encountered an enemy while leveling, you had to manage your abilities, use each ability wisely, and make sure your mana isn't lost, and without any exaggeration, you felt like you were actually fighting, which made the game extremely engaging and gave you a sense of reward. While leveling in Worlds of Draenor did not feel challenging or dangerous in any way. I never had to worry about dying in combat since my mana never ran out and I could heal whenever I want. I was one-shotting mobs easily, which made the game feel like nothing since it was just click click and everybody is a winner. In Vanilla WoW, not everybody was a winner, because whenever you pulled one mob, you had to work hard to defeat it. Whenever you pulled two mobs, you had to work extra hard, meaning you need to strategize even more. If you pulled three mobs, you needed a miracle to survive, a potion or anything to keep you alive. In most cases, you needed a fellow player to jump in and save your ass before you were dead meat. And that actually encouraged player interaction, and it is what an MMO is all about. Player interaction. People needed to interact, and Vanilla WoW, because they were providing such a dangerous environment and because they were giving us such a dangerous world, you had a lot of people interacting and helping each other in many cases. When I played both Vanilla and Warlords of Draenor, I told myself, I wonder why we have mana currently in WoW. You almost never ran out of mana when you leveled in Warlords of Draenor, and as I've mentioned, whenever you pulled a single mob in Vanilla WoW, you had to strategize in a way that you needed to use the right ability at the right time to make sure your mana isn't lost. Mana loss was extremely critical since you felt like your character was actually getting tired. You had to constantly stop and eat and drink, and in many cases, you begged a mage to make you some refreshments. The world in Vanilla WoW felt so dangerous that you almost couldn't go AFK whenever you wanted to during leveling. You had to find any village or any safe place to go to in order to go AFK at, and that feeling of a dangerous world is what made the game feel amazing. You literally felt that there is no safe place in the world of Warcraft. When leveling in Vanilla WoW, the smallest things which happened to you felt like something major, and they felt like they had a lot of meaning. What do I mean by that? Well, during leveling, it was really hard to obtain armor. Every character looked unique because not everyone had the same items since armor was so hard to obtain. In many cases, as a shaman, you'd be forced to wear a cloth item because it gave you greater stats compared to what you have. As a warrior, you sometimes wore leather armor. Quests did give you some equipment, but not a lot of quests, only some extremely hard ones. In many cases, you'd go to an armor or weapon vendor in the latest village you are in to buy yourself some weapons or armor. You had to save up a bunch of silver coins to buy an item that will boost your stats, whereas in Warlords of Draenor, there really is no point of having those armor vendors. Gearing up during leveling in Warlords of Draenor is extremely easy. You complete a chain of quests that end up giving you armor pieces which end up becoming a whole set. Everyone gets them, everyone has them, and everyone looks the same, and basically there's no feeling of excitement or specialty or prestige in any way. Just something that everyone gets. Congratulations, everyone is a winner. And that defeats the whole purpose of a game. I remember when I obtained my first shoulder armor during Vanilla WoW, I began to run around my house in excitement. The gear wasn't epic, rare, or green. It was a grey shoulder piece, yet I still felt extremely happy because I knew how hard it was to find such a piece. In many cases, you'd go on general chat looking for someone willing to sell an armor piece which they don't need. You have people offering to sell a piece of gear, and that encouraged player interaction. That's what I mean by having things that are simple, yet they mean a lot to you. Because the world was so challenging and the world was so dangerous, you were constantly being invited into groups in order to complete a quest, which helped you make a lot of friends. Now in Warlords of Draenor specifically, leveling was extremely fast and easy. You killed mobs almost instantly. You pulled over 10 mobs and just simply AoE'd them down like they were nothing, and everything you killed and did really had no meaning other than giving you one extra number on your top left icon. Every level you gained in Vanilla or Burning Crusade or even Wrath of the Lich King meant a lot to you. You'd jump in excitement telling everyone in your friends list and typing in your guild chat the word dang and having people congratulate you because they know what you have to go through in order to gain that level. You couldn't wait to go learn your new ability from your class trainer, checking how much gold you have to make sure you're able to learn that specific spell. It is those little things that actually have a great impact on a player's experience. It's what makes the game dynamic, and it adds gameplay and engagement. You no longer have that feeling, everything is too convenient. You no longer feel like the small adventurer who is placed in a large, dangerous and savage world. Well, I have to admit, quests in Warlords of Draenor were extremely fun. There were many quests you had to choose from, but sadly everything had no challenge. In fact, the entire game had no challenge. And sadly in Vanilla WoW, you ran out of quests to do, forcing you to grind into the next level to move on to the next area. Games like Bloodborne, Dark Souls, and Demon Souls are made to kill you. The levels are designed to have you get killed because you're constantly having challenges being thrown at you. You're challenged everywhere you went. But they are also made to teach you how to become better at your class. They teach you how to persevere and how to keep fighting. And after you overcome those challenges, you have a sense of reward. Each enemy you faced in those games made you feel like you were actually in a real fight. And that feeling is gone in WoW now. What's happening in WoW is that you are able to kill mobs so easily that you just lose the feeling of excitement and joy. It feels nothing like an actual fight. Whereas back then, you had challenges being thrown at you constantly non-stop. Now, a very common argument that is presented states that not all people have the time to work hard in a game since they have jobs, families, and other responsibilities in real life, so they are forced to spend only 3 to 4 hours a day playing WoW. Well, I'm going to say this straightforward. You can never please everyone no matter what you do. There will always be this group of people who are unpleased, and just because they have a problem with it, that does not mean that it's smart to make the game more convenient to those who can't spend as much time. Go back and have a look at when WoW was actually successful. Have a look at the numbers and see how much people played the game in its hardcore state. In fact, even casual players enjoyed playing Vanilla WoW because even as you leveled, there was still this sense of curiosity. You always thought in your head, I wonder what the next area is going to look like, or what monsters or creatures there are. It was still fun and rewarding for the casuals even when they didn't get to experience all the content. It is what saves the game from having content burnouts, which we will speak about later in another video. Another thing people say is that we have 100 levels now. If the game was so hard, it will take a long time to reach the latest expansion's content. And I completely agree with that. The content that should be hard and challenging should only be current content, meaning have Vanilla, Burning Crusade, Wrath of the Lich King, Cataclysm, and Pandaria content to be easy and fast in order for people to reach the latest content where things turn hardcore. The reason why people did not mind slow and hard leveling in Vanilla, Burning Crusade, or kind of in Wrath of the Lich King was because the content was all new, so nobody had a problem with that. During Vanilla WoW, the world was so dangerous that you could be at max level and still die in areas that are for level 50s or high 40s. A level 20 character could still heal you even if you were at max level, which was 60 at the time. The game can still be successful even if it's catering to hardcore players. Rather than adjusting the game design to have it become more convenient to those who have grown up and have responsibilities, why not keep the gate open to the younger generations to have them experience what I have experienced in Vanilla WoW, or in Burning Crusade, or even Wrath of the Lich King. Rather than have them listen to, back in Vanilla you had to do this and that and it felt epic, why not have them experience what I experienced? Overall, leveling used to feel engaging, dangerous, and mysterious in many ways. To be quite honest, I don't know what's the point of having mana nowadays since it never runs out and you keep brainlessly throwing out abilities and spells like no tomorrow. Rare mobs are no longer rare actually in World of Warcraft since you see them respawning everywhere, whereas in Vanilla, Burning Crusade, or even Wrath of the Lich King, you'd lose your mind when you found a rare mob. Even when you spot an elite mob, you get excited yet scared, taking screenshots left and right to show your friends what you saw in the game. Blizzard needs to hear me out on this, and if you agree with what I have to say, please share this video with Blizzard on the forums or on Twitter. Send this video to Ian Hazzikostas or Tom Chilton and just let them hear our voices. Anyways guys, that about wraps it up for today. I've only touched upon a few things that have caused the downfall of WoW. There's still a lot to cover up, like raiding, dungeons, PvP, the implementation of Raid Finder, pre-made groups, cross-realm, and much more. If you liked this video, give it a like. If you didn't like it, then give it a dislike. If you look forward to more content in the future, subscribe. If you do not look forward to more content, then don't subscribe. Have a good day, night, morning, wherever you are, and I'll see you next time.